Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, this is the Midnight Masterminds. Cool. All right. So we begin. Just kidding. I'm Wyatt.
I'm Tyler.
Are you?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
I'm Katimae. I'm back, baby.
Oh God.
Katimae's back.
We're gonna restart. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family. We have a guest, a visitor.
A special guest.
Woo! Fucking clap.
For me. How dare
Sorry.
you?
Ow.
Her name is. What's your name?
My name's Sarah.
Oh shoot.
Oh, we got
knew
Sarah
that.
in the house.
Yeah.
So, normally when we kick off an episode of the Midnight Masterminds, we all talk about a classic movie that we watched and we review it with new eyes. We didn't do that this week because we didn't. So instead, we're gonna do a fun little icebreaker that I thought of. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna clue you guys into it as we go along. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Kim, are you ready? Because it looks like you're playing with some string.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Just the way you said it. Was like,
Totally.
yeah, I was playing with string.
Only playing with string just then.
Okay, I'm going to list some of the worst movies or believed to be the worst movies ever made. I need someone to tell me if they've seen it. Jack and Jill.
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, it's everyone.
Battlefield Earth.
No.
No.
Twilight.
Yes.
Any of them.
Yes.
Okay. You will take Twilight 2. Do you remember the details of that movie?
No.
Twilight 1?
Yes.
Okay. That's your movie. Remember your movie. We're moving on to
Going well.
Wow.
50 Shades of Grey?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. The Last Airbender.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Sounds like we all have good taste.
That's excellent. I'm proud of everyone. Wild Wild West with Will Smith?
Yep.
Yes.
Who wants that one? Tyler's taking the Wild Wild West.
That was on at the gym this morning.
Rocky 4? I've seen that. I'll take that one. Okay. We gotta find one for Sarah, guys.
No.
Movie 43.
Is that the one where it's kind of like one of those dumb like Valentine's Day movies where it's a bunch of them
Yeah.
together? Yeah.
Do you know it well?
Oh God, no.
Alright, so, alright.
There's too much going on. In
Oh,
there.
do you want Twilight?
Have you
I
seen
can do
Catwoman
movie.
starring Halle Berry?
No.
I've seen that. She could take Twilight.
Can you handle Twilight?
I mean, I can try. No promises.
Can you handle it, though?
Oh, I don't think I can.
Alright. So here's what we're doing. We all have our movies. Y'all know your movies?
Mm.
Alright,
I do
great.
Catwoman.
So normally...
Wait, what's your fucking movie?
You are doing.
My movie?
Yeah.
Rocky 4.
Oh, okay.
Alright. So you're doing Twilight and you're doing... What are you doing? Catwoman, starring Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Alright, so normally we take all of these movies from the 100 best movie lists. I just dug up a couple from like the 100 worst movies list. And we've all seen them, and it's your duty. You've been appointed the protector of this movie. You have to tell us why it's actually good, not bad. Sarah, defend Twilight. Twilight's stupid, it's dumb.
People sparkle. What more do you need? I'm
People
like,
sparkle.
I don't know what else you would need.
Because the people sparkle?
Yeah.
I can dig it. What about
I've never seen it, so
You've
I'm
never
not,
seen it?
I'm not going to be able to offer
Yeah.
any questions.
It's not as good as the books. It's actually really
Ooh,
disappointing.
that I would have to disagree with.
Whoa,
the
she
books
has-
were awful.
Oh, I really
Yes.
liked the
Oh.
books.
She's here. She's doing her job. She's defending the movie.
I'm also a little younger than you when the books came
Very
out.
true.
So
I am an old lady. When I was in high school, the books just came out.
I was in middle school.
Oh, God. Grandma over here
So-
was like, I got this.
Yeah, old lady.
I feel like when I was in middle school, those were like tailored for me.
Mhm.
Oh, see, I thought...
And I was like, the drama.
Oh, I mean, the movie's great. I really enjoyed it.
The drama.
I liked the books more.
Oh, okay. Well, while we're on you, Katimae, why don't you tell us a little bit about Catwoman from 2004 starring Halle Berry and tell us why it's not a horrible CGI rubber monster running around.
Do you want to hear a funny story about that movie?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so...
Is this a way to defend it?
Yeah, it just shows that I really liked it. Do you guys remember those big TVs, the rear projectors?
Oh yeah,
TVs.
we had one from Best Buy.
Yeah, so we had one, and we recorded Catwoman on the DVR, and I would rewatch that shit constantly.
Catwoman?
Yes.
Okay.
And I would have to fast forward through the commercials on this big
who
ass.
would watch the commercial?
Yeah, on this big ass. But I just really liked it. I really liked her
Did you get really good at timing out when to pause it right when
Yeah.
it started?
because
That's how I watched Scrubs.
I watched it constant. That one, and what was the other one? Electra?
Oh,
Electro
yeah.
with
Jennifer
the-
Gardner?
Yeah.
Jennifer Forehead? Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
She's a really great mom now.
That excuses her forehead.
Jennifer Forehead.
But
That's so mean.
so just
And
watch it
unnecessary,
for that
so-
story.
She's
and
so
then
nice.
You don't need any more to defend it. That did it justice.
I just really liked it because of her suit
everybody can
and
like
her
shitty
powers.
movies.
Hey, you defended it.
It's
Now, what's
literally my argument for
what's your
Wild
movie?
Wild West.
Yeah.
Oh, I
so
love that movie.
No, it's like it's a
Defend
pile
your
of
giant spider robot monster.
it's a pile of hairy garbage, but it's a lot of fun.
Hey, you
so
have to
fun.
defend it.
Will Smith is
No
is-
ill will towards your movie you're defending.
So let me finish the
No,
sentence.
no ill will towards.
Let me finish the
Listen,
sentence.
if you say a mean thing about the movie,
Will Smith is
Yeah.
at his best when he's allowed to go full Will Smith.
Yeah.
And he fucking does that in Wild Wild West.
And the
And he makes
gadgets are great.
Yeah, it's really like steampunk Wild West.
Don't they get blown out of a water tower?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting the Mackie on with some hot African American lady
And then they just
in
go
the water tower, and the water tower gets knocked down while they're getting the nookie on,
right?
and it's a good time.
Yeah.
There's this weird magnetic decapitation device thing that's super super scary. Kenneth Branagh is a half of a body in a wheelchair the whole time.
Oh yeah.
That's super fun.
Wait a minute.
Man.
Kenneth Branagh's in this movie?
Yeah.
That just
Haven't you seen this?
He's the
movie?
main.
Heck no.
He's
You
the main
haven't seen
bad.
Wild Wild West?
Heck no.
And then what's the guy's name? What's his name?
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
it in forever.
The other guy, the Wilson.
I saw the ending of the movie.
The one
That's how I
that's
know
the guy
about the
that's in a
giant
fish
spider
called
monster.
Wanda? That
Yeah,
guy?
yeah.
Oh, I know it, but I can't think of it right now.
I'm
It's
gonna
gonna
look it
bother me.
I'm gonna look it up.
We should pause this, watch
he was
Wild Wild West, and we'll come back.
I do
He
have
was in
to
the Pink
say,
Panther.
because he sang that song while
Kevin Kline.
Will Smith rapped it. That's really got me.
Oh yeah,
into my,
this is one of the.
elementary school Will Smith
yeah.
CD
Yeah.
phase. That was my jam. Get
This
jiggy
is-
with it
yeah.
because of that.
It's one of the last times he did a rap for the movie he was just.
Oh
in.
yeah,
I think it was the last time.
that
might
was
very
the
well
best
be.
thing.
Dang.
Yeah.
Man.
Rest in peace. That thing being a thing that happened. All right.
I want him to do a rap for After Earth.
No.
The Earth's
We
dead.
need
yo.
to forget about that movie. We need
The
to forget
Earth
that
is
movie
dead,
ever happened.
yo.
I want to hear the rap for 7 pounds. I took Woody Harrelson's eyes. What? What's that? When you're here. Oh, God. Why did you show me that in the middle of this podcast? All right.
Brian sent it to me.
It's my unsung duty now to defend Rocky IV. Tell me.
Good luck.
I
Good
don't think
luck.
I've seen it. Or I did
Yeah.
see it and I don't remember
People don't like it because it's when it started getting super campy and ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the first Rocky was very down to earth, surreal.
Work hard, you can do anything.
We're hitting the meat in the meat shop to practice because we're a real down to earth boxer.
You should maybe rephrase that.
No, we'll not.
He always hits his meat in the meat
He's
shop.
always doing it.
Me
Beating
too.
on that meat.
Yeah.
As soon
I
as
beat
Rocky
that
walked
meat
in, he's
every
like,
day.
"Hey, yo, I want to go to steaks." Like, stop walking here with a boner, Balboa. It's like, "But I just want a steak." But anyway, I will defend it with this. I will tell you that it has the best training montage ever.
Yeah, I agree.
It's amazing.
It was break.
We were going over montages in class the other day, and my students were like, "I want to make my montage," and they shot it, and it was like, they did a good job, but they were having trouble editing it together, and I was like, I only have one thing to show you, and I showed them the training montage from Rocky IV, and it's perfect. Watching Rocky work out in the snow while the Russians are spying on him, driving behind him, and he's like, "Well, they can't catch me," so he runs down a road and they spin out and fall over. It's ridiculous, cartoonish rockiness, but it's great. It's amazing.
And then Rocky
Spot
ends
on
the Cold
impression.
War.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sylvester Stallone and
All
AKA Rocky.
the
ends.
communists just want to watch him and
You know
follow him,
what?
but he's too fast.
I heard that was true. I read it once.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's true. And you have the great Dolph Lundgren being horribly terrifying.
It must break.
It must break you. Okay, well there we go. Ice broken. Thought we'd spread some positivity into the world.
If he
and
dies,
defend things that people hate.
he
Do you
dies.
feel it?
Do you feel the
Positivity.
positivity, but also the undertones of what we're talking about today?
It must break.
It must break.
Okay.
This transition as we move into movie news, everybody.
If he dies, he dies.
Shut up! So I have about 80 tabs open on my computer for a lot of movie news.
I did too, and then I closed all of them.
Why would you do that?
Because you have them.
I don't have any.
All right, first up.
We're not talking
This is the
about gun
unprepared
first. though.
Oh, okay.
Last.
That's always me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Save that.
First
last.
up,
Yes.
Patrick Stewart is back as Picard.
That's pretty cool. If you like Star Trek.
Yeah, man.
This is a movie podcast, idiot.
You're the one who gave me that headline,
Take
asshole.
the slap.
Ow.
Just
Okay,
kidding.
next.
No, that's pretty cool. He's going to be...
Katimae,
Picard.
do you know what a podcast is?
No.
Real quick.
Next.
Do you know what
She's
you
like,
do
"Just
on a
end it here."
podcast? You talk.
Yeah, but I don't have anything to say about that. So,
So?
So
next.
keep your mouth shut.
That's not my fault. You didn't do any preparation. Men in
was making
Black.
you dinner.
Men in Black spinoff just added Rebecca Ferguson to the cast. The
Woo!
cast that already had Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth
Woo!
reuniting from Thor Ragnarok. So I think that's gonna be dope.
Why did you make that face?
I don't know.
You hating on this Men in Black reboot?
I've never
It's not a
really
reboot.
seen
It's a spinoff.
Men in Black, so.
You never seen Men in Black?
No.
You're breathing down my neck for not watching the Wild Wild West?
Seriously.
And you haven't seen Men in Black?
Wow.
I've seen parts of it.
That's kind of that's not okay.
I'm starting to, the whole Katimae theory is just breaking apart, and it's just coming down to she just has weird taste in movies.
I thought we established that already.
Yeah, like you can't pin it. You put a pin in it.
All right,
At
so fun fact. I don't know if this is news. I'm most definitely not news, but I learned it, so it's news to me. Obi-Wan's stunt double for the prequels was Joel Edgerton,
Yeah.
and he's famous now
That's pretty
for
cool.
not doing that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know who that is.
He played Uncle Owen in Star Wars Episode 2.
Joel
Attack of the
Edgerton? You
Clones.
don't know Joel Edgerton?
But also, he was in that movie Warrior that we just watched. He was Tom Hardy's brother who was better than him.
Oh,
Yeah,
that guy. Oh, yeah. I know who
that
that
guy.
is.
So yeah, he played Obi-Wan technically a little bit.
Oh.
That's cool.
You know, I learned that. If you didn't know that, newsflash!
Oh, wow. Okay.
So anyway, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are doing a McDonald's fraud movie about people, or the McDonald's Monopoly fraud, a movie about how this gangster or racketeer punked the
sort of.
system and
He
won
was an
Monopoly like 12 years in a row.
Now, when I heard about this, I read up on the whole article that broke it down. Basically, how it worked out from what I could. I didn't read the whole thing because we were getting ready to do the podcast, but it was an ex-cop had created somewhat of a network with a bunch of other people in the town. One who owned a strip club, one who a bunch of people who were doing different things, and it got so crazy. So many people in their little syndicate were winning so frequently that the odds were literally just impossible, statistically not possible. So the FBI started to investigate and they caught him, but it was this gigantic web of them. They actually went to the place where they print all of the Monopoly game pieces to figure out are they skimming and what the fuck are they doing. So it'll be an interesting movie.
So what were they doing?
I'm like, these are the game pieces that you're getting on
Yeah,
drinks.
like your
People
large
are
Like you pull
fry,
off your
or
French
your
fries.
drink.
People were getting
Well, a
millions
lot
of
of free
dollars from
times
Monopoly.
on there.
Well, I mean, if you invest all your time into that and you become a millionaire, I guess it's worth it.
Did they think 12 years in a row nobody would catch on?
I
Hey,
guess
this
that-
guy's won yet again.
Yeah, why did do it? Maybe I think you can get away with it
Every
twice.
couple of
Well, I
years,
think-
once in a blue moon.
I think
like,
he was
he got cocky
discreetly
about
working
it.
through other people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he wasn't
the
him
idea.
winning all the time.
He just every time is like, I got it.
He figured it out, and then he told someone he knows, hey, I figured it out. I'll tell you, and we'll split it, and then it just
Oh.
grew from there.
He's just one lucky son of a bitch, he
Mhm.
thinks.
But it's cool that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are going to be working on something again.
Yes,
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Goodwill.
Is Ben Affleck directing it?
I don't know.
It's actually me.
Oh, okay. Katimae's got it.
Holy shit! It's probably Gus Van Sant. All right, ready? We're moving on to. You have the list.
Oh, we're done.
That's the whole list.
Yeah,
I'm just
I
gonna
mean-
thumb through
Okay,
these
bye, Katimae.
these here tabs.
Good seeing you.
The movie Christopher Robin, which we're reviewing today, is not going to be playing in China. It's You want to tell us why, Tyler?
Because people think the Chinese president looks like Winnie the Pooh,
and they make fun of him for it.
they make fun of him for it.
So he banned it.
He hates that. So all instances of Winnie the Pooh in like pop culture are banned and being destroyed by China. So you're not allowed. If you're in China, sorry, you're gonna miss out on a really great movie.
Drama king.
Yeah, I know. Seriously.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, I was about to get political, but I'm not gonna do that.
This is a movie podcast.
Get political. You know what we do
talk
on
about
podcasts,
movies?
Tyler?
Yeah.
You know what a podcast is?
Nah, she stomps on she stomps on movie related bits. I'm not gonna start talking about international politics. That's not gonna go well.
I'll talk about.
No, that's what I like.
Okay.
Oh. MoviePass is trying to flip it over on the movie industry for why they experienced an outage. Basically, we'll roll it back even further. MoviePass is amazing. If you don't have it, you're dumb. But, sorry.
At least it used to be that way.
She is A-list though.
Yeah, that works.
Which MoviePass paved the way for that kind of thing, which is great. Mm-hmm. But my point is, they're still an active company. They're still, we got our tickets for MoviePass today, or through MoviePass today.
Yep.
But when Mission Impossible Fallout came out, so many people wanted to watch it that they had to borrow money from their parent company just to not go bankrupt.
To cover all the tickets people were using.
So people are wondering what the future holds for MoviePass, and instead of saying, hey, we kind of came up with a shit business model and we're trying to figure it out, they are saying that the movie industry is charging an exorbitant amount of money for not only tickets but concessions, and that's part of the problem. Mm-hmm. Which they're not wrong.
No, not at all.
I don't think shifting blame is a good way to attack this. But whatever.
On the MoviePass note, there's a student-run company out of UC San Diego that's they're like a venture capitalist firm run by business students. It's called Triton, and they're looking to buy out MoviePass to keep it going.
Please do. I think even if MoviePass itself doesn't end up working out,
something else is going to come along.
Not only is something else going to come along, the AMC, the AMC Pass has already happened.
Oh yeah,
that's an excellent.
And that's that's super good. Yeah.
For people who, if you listen to this podcast and you like movies, like we like movies, and you don't have it, you're just wasting money.
Even if there's not an AMC, like your closest theater isn't an AMC, it's still pretty worth it.
I drive 20 minutes out of the way just to go see 3 movies a week now.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
It's like
it is.
Because the AMC one, almost, I like it as a premise better than MoviePass, almost.
But did MoviePass think this was never going to happen? Like, a big movie was going to release, and they were like, oh, nobody would want to go see this on opening night. What was their plan there?
They've been,
they've
been slowly trying to, like...
They're just praying to God that it didn't
happen. Well, they put in
a
lot of restrictions to prevent it from happening.
Please.
So when Infinity War came out, they thought that there was going to be an issue, so they sent a message out to everybody. Everyone can only see movies once now. So if you, and this was the day before Infinity War came out, because what people were doing is they would wake up every day, buy a ticket to something like Infinity War, and then sell it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, because they're profiting off of it.
Yeah,
that plus then you have assholes like Wyatt, Katimae, and I who saw Thor Ragnarok 19 fucking times between the three of us.
Yeah.
So,
well, the reason is people were legitimately selling it, and that's why they had the issue.
Yep.
So they said now people can only see it once. Then they turned on like the surge pricing, which is if it's a new release movie, new release weekend, or it's a theater that's almost full, they have the ability to just upcharge you for that movie. So like an extra $3, $4, however much it might be.
Which I will say, still a crazy deal.
Yeah.
So stop bitching
Even
about
if you
it.
pay $10 a month and you see a bunch of movies and then you get charged surge price like twice, that's still like $16.
Plus they let you waive one of them.
Yeah.
So like, how many giant, big budget, amazing, huge blockbusters are going to come out in a month?
Yeah. I got
that you're going to need to see on opening night, where you waiving it one time isn't going to help.
Yeah.
And even that one surge thing, like
I got surge priced for Mission Impossible, but it was the only surge pricing that I had that month, so I didn't pay for it.
Yeah, it's like people trying to find reasons to complain about MoviePass are my least favorite people this week.
Dang, man.
I'm just being honest, man. I even tweeted about it. That's how strongly I feel.
Whoa. Well, speaking about people complaining online, let's talk about our favorite thing to talk about.
James Gunn.
His name's James Gunn, yeah. Katimae's over there like, do we have to talk about this again?
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Because there's more news.
Yeah.
I didn't even say anything.
Shut up, Katimae.
They can see it on your face.
Next,
Katie
really
May.
good.
Next.
I could see.
She just gets up and leaves the room.
It's like not a light bulb above your head, but the word "next" slowly filling out as the more we talk about something, just getting more and more bold. And when it finally, that is a small fart. That is a small fart, thanks to Wyatt. When it finally fills out, we have to move on. But anyway,
Correct.
I just can't believe that we're still talking about James Gunn. Like,
Well-
shouldn't he just be the director again already?
Oh, he should be. Most certainly.
Mhm.
We've been very clear on our stance on the whole debacle.
Mhm.
For those who don't know, we'll catch you up in a
No.
lightning round.
Pause.
What?
We've spent like a collective 45 minutes on this the last 3
For
episodes.
those who don't know, we're going to catch you up
Yep.
in a lightning round. James Gunn, director of Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 1 and 2. Also, writer on Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 1 and 2.
And Scooby Doo.
And 3. He wrote 3.
He wrote 3,
Yeah.
turned it in, they're building the sets, and then someone dug up a bunch of old tweets that were less than great.
Oh, awful.
That got him fired. And the whole world is aghast. So here we are. You're up to speed.
Yep.
So now what's the new news?
Well, the new news is this, which is it's annoying that this podcast comes out on Monday. Not that we're gonna change that or anything, but we released the podcast Monday at 9 in the morning, and then this happened at 10 a.m. on Monday.
Or are you talking about the
Oh, the letter.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
so-
open letter.
There's we were talking about last week in the podcast that it was weird that almost none of the cast have come out to support him because he pretty much gave them almost all of their freaking careers in that movie, and he's been not talking at all. But the cast waited a week, and then they all came together and wrote a letter.
Yeah.
And the letter basically just confesses their undying love for him
And support.
and they all released it on all of their social media, everything, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of it. And that includes Chris Pratt, Dave Bautista, I think Vin Diesel as well, Bradley
Yeah.
Cooper,
Zoe Saldana.
Karen Gillian, Michael
Gillian.
Rooker is
Yep.
in it, I think.
Sean Gunn.
Everybody who was, the whole entire cast. And they're all,
Such a
they all-
great thing to see.
Palm,
and they all want
what's
him
her
back.
name?
Yeah. And
Yep.
everybody wants, and that's what it says in there. They said we at the very end of it, they cap it with we would like him to be rehired.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the thing that, this is more of an editorial, but the thing that I find sad about the situation is that he was fired just for tweets about, not funny jokes, but they were jokes, right?
Mhm.
That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Jokes.
When you look at after they posted this letter, I thought, what do all the comments say? So I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm like, I want to see what the consensus is on this. And it's 70-30 split. 70% of the people really upset that they're actually defending him. And what's so annoying, and if you're listening to this, anyone who wrote a comment like this, I'm talking to you and I don't like you as a person. They're saying, how can you defend a pedophile? And that's where I have to pump the brakes, because it's not like I read that once or twice. I read that on a majority of people's comments.
Did the same thing when the letter first came out. I was like, oh, it would be cool to read all the support that he had. Right, the internet.
Yeah. And they're saying, how can you defend a pedophile? He touches kids. He does. No! He didn't do any of that at all. It's so weird to see that so many people are just
Dumb.
assuming things.
Yeah.
You could just say,
Welcome
no,
to
they're
the
dumb.
world of the internet.
if
The
he
world
did-
is stupid.
If
Yeah.
he did, do you think he'd just go on Twitter and be like,
Sorry.
guess what I just did, guys?
Yeah.
Touch the
Seriously.
kid.
That's what he did.
I
Fuck's
just
sake.
touched some kids. So.
My Tuesday night.
Well, some people were saying, look, I don't think he's a pedophile, but if you're joking about it, you obviously think about it. No.
You know,
Nah.
People joke about things all the time.
we
That doesn't
joke about
mean-
murder, but
Yeah,
that
I'm not
doesn't
gonna
mean I
go
go
murder
out
somebody.
murdering
So a lot of
people every
people
Friday night.
are saying the things responding
Oh,
to
are we
them.
not doing that murder this Friday? Sorry, Wyatt, you get to live another
My
day.
bad. So people are responding to the comments with the sentiments that we're putting out right now. They're saying just because we joke about murder doesn't mean that we're actually going to go out and murder, but they just keep saying well, actually, you might have murderous tendencies.
Probably because I'm listening to you. No, I can't.
It's-
I already spent so much of my life ranting about this.
Yeah, it's so many people are just giving and people are saying to Chris Pratt, I was a fan of you and I'm not going to be your fan anymore.
Okay,
because
bye.
of this."
Chris
And-
Pratt doesn't need anybody. He has
No.
sheep
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Go
He
fuck
has a
yourself. I'm
farm.
gonna
What
hang out on
more
my
does he
fucking
need?
farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's,
I'm Chris Pratt. I'm a better person in my left nut than you are every single day in your
It's
entire
just
being.
crazy to me that I thought that when you read the letter and you see how Hollywood is reacting, everybody wants him to be rehired because everyone's saying if we don't tell Disney that this is not okay, everybody who has ever done anything bad in their past is just going to get scrubbed out of Hollywood, and that's not a good thing. Like, and by bad I mean told a distasteful joke 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And if they
Then are we gonna dig up at what everybody said 10 years ago? And be
Yeah.
like, well,
It's like
10 years ago you weren't that great, so
Yeah.
bye.
here's what I want.
We've
to
all
talk
been
about.
awful 10 years
Yeah.
ago, probably.
So one of the things that was the most annoying is that James Gunn posted about something he was alluding to a guy named Victor Salva, and I don't know if you guys know who that is. He's the director of the Jeepers Creepers movies.
Oh, okay.
So he directed the first 2 Jeepers Creepers movies, and on the set of one of those movies, straight up raped kid.
Yep.
Not a joke.
Oh, wow.
Right? Did it. And he went to jail for it. And he got hired by Disney after that, where he did more molesting on a Disney set.
That
Yeah,
doesn't
James
make
Gunn
any
can't work
sense.
for Disney.
Yeah, because he made some
Mhm.
jokes that people find offensive.
So
And I
the
want-
reason
yeah.
I'm bringing up James Gunn in this context is Victor Salva was doing like a reading, and James Gunn happened to be there, and he basically called it out. It's like, why is this fucking dude here? So people are now protesting him, like, for the past year, because Jeepers Creepers 3 came out last year.
Mhm.
Everybody was like, hey, why is this dude still in the world? And
Yeah.
so in the past year, he's been put in the spotlight. But James Gunn, 10 years ago, started talking about pedophilia to call out this dude and making jokes about it to call out this guy.
Yep.
And
He's
people
trying
are-
to do the right thing and got
yeah,
thrown
but
under
people
the
were
bus,
correlating
essentially.
those two together, and they're being like, "Oh, he's talking about this guy. He must be like him." He's like, "No, he was trying to throw him under the
Yeah.
bus."
And-
It's crazy.
And my least favorite thing in the world, I think, is people saying that, like, if you want James Gunn back, then we got to bring back Roseanne. And I'm like,
God,
No.
those are two completely different things.
Nah, Roseanne-
Roseanne has always been a terrible person. I feel
yeah,
like.
straight up terrible.
And I'm like, the fact that they let her try again, and like going back to her show was, I guess, generous of them.
verbally attack someone
Yeah.
who did not deserve it at all. Give her show back.
And she apologizes and says, "Oh, I didn't realize what I was doing." I'm like,
No,
did you, though?
not even that.
Well,
I didn't realize
Roseanne's
she
gotta
was
be
these
racist.
specific races.
Yeah, I'm like,
If she
what
was
does that matter?
I thought she was this race that I was calling a monkey.
Oh, you know what? Sorry, you are not what
You're
I was
fine.
expecting.
I just
People are.
I just want to say one more thing about James Gunn because I didn't get to say it because I was on the podcast. This news was the only news about like a director or like a movie where my heart like dropped and I was like, oh no,
Well,
it
it
was
sucks
so
because
sad.
like everyone is like those movies mean a lot to a lot of people because they're not. I don't think that they're just like Marvel movies.
No,
I
they're
think
not.
those specific ones stand out amongst almost all the other ones. And for him to be treated like this, I think is bigger than like Guardians of the Galaxy or this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That like at this point, literally nobody is safe. Like
Mhm.
the people who dug those up targeted him because he's very vocal politically. If you look at his Twitter, he's just basically like, fuck Trump. That's this whole thing.
Mhm.
So people who were upset about
And-
him, because he has a huge audience of people who look at him on Twitter or read his tweets. For him to be doing that, and someone who was a Trump supporter was like, I'm going to target this fucking guy.
get him
he-
fired and shut up.
He proved that it's possible. So the
He
reason
just-
it sucks is that like you can't even speak your own mind anymore
Mhm.
because you might lose your job.
And it's like, it's sad because it's starting to happen to a lot of people now. Like they try to take down Patton Oswalt.
Yep.
They took his tweets out of context, and it's hilarious when you actually see them because Patton Oswalt tweeted them back, and it's like they were written to be this way, but they're from when Twitter didn't do the like 1 out of 2 thing, because it doesn't do that automatically now.
No, you
I
have to
don't
put
know.
one.
Alright.
You have to put parentheses.
I
one
don't
and one.
Fair enough.
Twitter
But-
that I do
Twitter.
not use.
But he wrote a bunch of tweets, and I do not remember them, so I'm not going to even try to quote them. But the way they cut off, like the second half of the tweet was awful, like really, really terrible. But then you add the second one or the first part, and it's
Oh, okay, yeah.
All of a
completely
sudden fine, yeah.
fine. But they weren't doing that. They were just sending the second one out there
Well,
to,
yeah,
just
of
to get
course.
him in trouble.
Well,
and
if
it's
you're
like,
gonna try and
Everything out
get
of
someone in
context.
trouble, I feel like you should at least have all the information.
Mhm.
Try and deep dive into that, not just be like, "Ooh, I saw something."
Mhm.
That's
That's why the intent of these surfacing needs to be taken into consideration as well.
Yeah.
Like, and that's another thing too, is no one is defending at all
Anything that
what
he said.
what
Not a
he
single
said.
person has
No
said.
one in the world is like, I actually thought the jokes were funny.
The
Why'd you
most
fire him?
offense that the jokes get is that
They're
they
jokes.
were jokes. Like
Mhm.
that's it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Everyone who comes out staunchly as the next guy will always say, like, yeah, not defending what he said, defending the man. And that's, I think, what the important distinction is that is worrying so many people.
Mhm.
Because it doesn't matter. Outrage culture has gotten to the point now where it doesn't matter how good a person you are. If you mess up, you're going to get socially castrated and
I think
cast
the
aside.
lesson that I took away
is just don't talk to
covertly.
anyone ever.
It almost.
Just live
That's
in a
why I only
bubble.
have some friends.
Yeah.
Well, what's sad is like you guys are close to what I was about to say. Is that I'm not utilizing Twitter or Facebook for my actual opinions anymore. It's
Yeah.
just like, look at this I found online. It's cute or something.
Here's a
Getting to the
video
point
of a puppy.
with a lot of this social outrage veiled as activism, where people are gonna just stop being people and stop interacting with each other.
This is like reminding me of Coney 2012. Do you remember this bullshit?
Yeah.
So, you don't remember?
Sorry,
she
I
was
was
stalled.
trying to
She's like,
avoid burping.
Coney is deep in my heart.
Yes, it was very serious.
Someone started an online campaign that went viral, and everybody was on, like the whole world was on board. And he was basically Coney was this like warlord, and he had a bunch of like child soldiers, and they were like, oh, this is a horrible man.
That.
The dude had already been dead for like 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and so they used it so people would funnel. Haha, this was hilarious. People would funnel like campaign donations to them, and they just got the money.
Yep.
Oh.
So like anything can be anything you want it to be online, and it's all bullshit. So there you go.
Yeah.
Shifting gears, Spider-Man villain movie Kraven the Hunter reportedly in development.
I'm excited for it.
I
More
just-
so than Morbius, to be completely honest with
Yeah.
you.
So now they made Venom, and before it even comes out and people tell them that it's awful, they are gonna make a Morbius movie. And now they're gonna also plan to make a Kraven the Hunter movie, which like you should have led with that. It's a
Well,
much better idea for a movie than all of those
I will say,
fucking vampire movies.
no, Morbius is a great character. I just am not a huge fan of who they cast to play him.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, not a huge. He's not English. What?
I know he's not. I made that choice myself.
It just
Okay.
felt like that was needed.
All right.
Yeah.
Wanted to spice
Live
things
your life,
up.
man. But no, I'm gonna hold out judgment on this as an idea until I figure out or until we.
Yeah, who they'll probably cast? Tom Hardy. Anyway, next.
Yeah, fair enough. That was the end of that thought anyway.
Actually, that's all the news tabs that I had open on my
Yeah,
little
that's-
laptop here.
Is it time for a review?
Yep.
All right, we had 2 big releases this week that we cared about.
I'll say one decently sized release and another one that.
Well, I mean, let's be real. One's gonna make as much money as the other.
Should I do things?
Not so far, dude.
Well,
Not even close, actually.
they're still big-ish by comparison.
Fair. Big names, at least.
Next.
So, first off, The Spy Who Dumped Me, directed by Susanna Fogel, and written by Susanna Fogel and David
Whoa.
Iserson. Sorry.
Do you guys want to know what Susanna Fogel has done before this movie? She did this movie called Chasing Life.
It's a show, buddy.
Did a movie called Life Partners.
Probably also a show.
And Joni and Susanna.
Yep. Lots of writing.
There you go.
Lots of writing.
Then she did this movie.
Which starred Mila Kunis, Kate McKinnon, and Justin Theroux. And an English guy whose name I can't pronounce.
No, no.
Oh, goodness.
It's that guy. Sam Hugan?
Huey.
Or whatever.
So let's tell you about this here movie.
As of Friday, it's earned $5 million.
Wow.
Which is kind of trash.
Pocket change.
Yeah, unfortunately.
How much did that movie cost to make?
Like probably around 40 or something.
You
At
just
least-
making shit up?
Yeah,
At
I don't
least
know.
$8.
At least $8.
They spent at least $8. What if you found out that they made this movie for $7.50?
I will say, besides one image on IMDb for the last 8 months, I feel like I didn't really see any promotional material for this movie
I feel
until
like I saw
a
the
week
trailers
ago.
for this months and months and months ago, and then I didn't hear anything about it until the day I saw it.
Yeah.
Weird. But I will tell you some things about this movie. I'll tell you. Get ready.
So weird.
What's
tell you,
wrong
we're
with
fine.
being weird?
Nothing. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so I actually didn't hate it.
No, me neither.
It's sort of like that movie. I'm gonna try and compare it style-wise to Blockers or Game Night.
The Hitman's Bodyguard.
This is a way better version of The Hitman's Bodyguard. I didn't like that movie.
I didn't like that movie.
This is a way better movie, I think. The reason I think that is that the comedy is just way better, and because when you have Kate McKinnon in your movie, it's just gonna be a riot.
This movie doesn't deserve her.
Yeah.
Just being
I was
honest.
going through articles about this movie, and someone's headline was, Why can't anybody in Hollywood write a good character for Kate McKinnon? I agree.
She really, like, honest to God, she's so much so a female comedian like we need right now, and she's being criminally underutilized in, like, everything. She was definitely the standout, because, like, I love Mila Kunis, but you could have put anybody in her character in this movie.
Well, let's tell the folks what this movie here is about here.
It's about a girl who gets dumped by a spy.
Yep, that's really it.
Honest to God, like,
go to Europe.
It's a story. It's a
Justin
movie. It's a movie about. I give up.
Is also a writer, which is great.
Wow, so I liked it. It was pretty great.
Yeah, it's a movie about female friendship that uses a mask of spy action to convey that story.
Basically, and the action was good.
Yeah, honest to God, fuck yeah! Like that opening sequence.
It was very Bourne.
Was very Bourne. That oneer of him jumping out the window.
Good stuff.
That was pretty dope.
And so the movie follows Justin Theroux. He is a spy
named Drew.
And he's dating.
Uncle Drew?
Yeah, like Uncle Drew. He is dating Mila Kunis, named Audrey.
Was dating.
They had previously broken up.
Yeah, much like the title might lead you to believe, he had dumped her.
Yes.
Prior to the beginning of this movie.
But he shows up to her apartment and gets, spoilers, killed.
Uh-oh.
And Kate McKinnon and Mila Kunis have to go and finish his mission.
It's in the first 10 minutes, so it doesn't count as a spoiler.
Yeah. And has to go finish his mission, and they're going all around.
That's a rule.
Crazy places.
What? That's a rule.
What's a rule?
If it happens in the first 10 minutes of the movie, it doesn't count as a spoiler.
He said spoiler, so I took it as a spoiler.
Well, it's not.
Where
it's
did
really
this
not
rule
even,
come from?
We'll agree to disagree on that one.
I'm pretty sure it's like in the trailer that they have to do his mission.
There's that scene is in the trailer where he gets shot.
Okay, you guys are correct.
Whatever.
Take
your word for it. Rule came from.
Hassan Minaj is in it, and he's hilarious. He plays a super evil guy.
Is that what he is, or is he just really annoying?
I thought he was funny.
I hated every second he was on screen.
I think you were supposed to.
I thought he was. No, you were, but he's also bad.
Yeah, whoa! Hassan Minaj is fucking hysterical. I love him.
Probably in other things, not in this.
And
you ever seen his stand-up? It's excellent.
Great, probably, but every line he delivered in this movie felt like he was a student actor told to they told him, you have to be annoying. Pick a thing that makes you annoying, stick with that the entire time you're on screen, and that's your character. That's what it felt like to me the whole time. And I absolutely hated every second he was on screen.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Okay. So this guy named Sam, also.
What was that?
He's playing Sebastian.
Sam Hugan.
He is a standout. He was excellent.
Fantastic.
He was a good spy guy.
The English guy.
But he also was kind of doofy, which was funny.
Just making sure. Yeah, he was very. Yeah, he was like.
It's almost like if Burt Macklin FBI was a spy.
Or guinea pig?
Felt kind of like him. Yep.
K-Man Wyatt got a new guinea pig.
Oh, spoiler alert! We got a new guinea pig. His name is Burt.
Burt Macklin FBI. That's his name.
His name is Burt Macklin FBI. That's his full name. It's not a joke. It's legal.
He's a month old, so.
He's adorable.
But the reason I bring that up is because
he's a little jumping bean.
The spy in this movie really just felt like if Chris Pratt's version of Burt Macklin was British.
And real.
Yep. He is real. He's in the FBI. But
this guy was in MI6 though.
Justin Theroux was a pretty convincing action guy. I'd never seen him do any kind of action.
And a very convincing douchebag.
It was a good movie. It was fun. I would say it's a good date movie.
Very good date movie.
It's not lit or anything super I don't know, uniquely. It has a lot of comedy lighting. Everything's just super lit.
Just presented to you.
There you go. Look at it that way. Except the beginning is definitely just
not color corrected at all.
The beginning was just.
It was the same building as in Atomic Blonde.
Yeah.
Yep.
For the beginning of this movie was just shot to be Bourne, and then the rest of the movie wasn't, which was weird. So they established this really crazy cool style for all the action, and then later in the movie when there's a bunch of crazy action, it's almost like it was made by a whole other team of people.
Well, I will say they did a good job of differentiating between action scenes starring the two main women, so Kate McKinnon and Mila Kunis, and when it was a spy. Because the action scenes with what's the guy's name? Was it, I forget
Sebastian.
what it is. Sebastian, yeah. Every action scene he had was fucking incredible.
Well, so he was incredible. But what I'm saying is the camera work and the color correction just seemed different. feel like in the beginning they tried to be like, this is going to be like Bourne-ish, and then even when he showed up later on in the movie, they didn't move the camera a whole lot, or it just I'm not upset about it. It was just off. I don't know. It's not a perfect movie, but it was fun.
Yeah, and I don't want to overanalyze, but it did kind of
wrong movie to overanalyze.
Yeah, it did kind of. It felt piecemeal in a couple places. Like certain sequences were a little out of place. Like she had an idea for like 2 different comedy spy movies starring Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon, and kind of mashed them both together.
Oh, there's one thing that I totally forgot to bring up.
Yep.
It was so Tyler and I picked up on this. I don't know if anyone else did when they were watching this movie, but I just saw a ton of blatant foreshadowing that Kate McKinnon's character is supposed to be a spy, and then just never came up. Mm-hmm. And usually when you build up a bunch of fake foreshadowing, it's for a bit or a gag at the end.
Yep.
Like, oh, is she written? And she's not. We were expecting that, but it just never
paid off at all.
And
like her picture gets shot in the beginning of the movie.
Right through the head.
Right through the head.
Every time that happens in the movie, like when a picture frame cracks on somebody's head, they're going to die.
And they focused on it, too. It wasn't like you see in the background a picture of her get shot. It's like, it was a dedicated insert of her picture getting a bullet hole through it.
They did that to mess with you.
Yeah, and they made jokes along the way.
And it was
about
like a really
being
obnoxious, blatant line about how I'm not a Russian spy. That's not what's happening here. And I'm like,
literally stopped me in the middle of my sentence to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I'm mad at you now.
Okay.
The rest of this podcast, I'm mad at you.
You did it to me. You do it to me all the time.
We only have one more movie.
Yep, Christopher
and
Robin.
We've been recording for like 30 minutes. Oh, well, I stand corrected.
It's totally just a lie.
40 minutes. My mistake.
Christopher Robin, directed by Mark Foster,
but nice try.
Forster.
You're right.
I'm literally reading it.
You're right.
Marky Mark?
No. Fun facts about Mark Forster. He directed the worst James Bond movie, or maybe the second worst.
Which one?
Quantum of Solace.
Like, ever the worst James Bond movie ever?
In my opinion, it's pretty goddamn horrible.
Out of all, 30 that there have been, you think Quantum of Solace is...
Yeah.
How many of them
have you seen that movie?
Yeah. How many of the other ones have you seen?
A lot of them, actually.
Okay. There's no way. That's a bad movie. But it's
like...
Movie. The worst...
this movie commits the worst crime. It's just the most boring one.
Alright.
If it's campy dumb and they have, these whoosh, sound effects in it, and it's just dumb James Bond, I'm having fun watching it. This movie's no fun at all. It's super boring and dumb. But anyway...
I guess that's fair. I did have the worst Bond villain.
Everything
just
about
a businessman.
And he was who
tries to fight Daniel Craig.
And this is how he ends. He's like, he realizes, I'm not going to make it out of this desert because James Bond will make sure of it. And he just drinks motor oil.
Yep.
And just lays there.
Yep.
This is stupid. Anyway.
That's smart. I like it.
So, this guy actually did come under my radar a long time ago. He made Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell, which is an excellent movie. Mm-hmm. And the last movie he made before this was World War Z. Well, I mean, he made another movie after, but that was his last big movie.
Yeah.
And that was a really popular movie. People really liked that movie. And then...
And nothing to do with the book.
But he also directed Finding Neverland, which feels a lot like this movie.
Yeah.
As well as, I think, this was very Hook-like.
Yep. Yeah.
Not in a bad way, though.
I'll pay that.
I had a good time with it.
It was written by Alex Ross Perry and Tom McCarthy, starring Ewan McGregor, Haley Atwell, and... a lot of at least Winnie the Pooh and Tigger were played by the current 2 guys who voiced Winnie the Pooh and Tigger in all the animated Winnie the Pooh stuff.
Which is good.
Which is awesome. And then you had, what's his name? What's his name? He's in Everybody Loves Raymond. He's the brother. Played Eeyore. Yeah, what's his name? Why didn't I write that down?
The big guy?
Oh, the tall man. He did Eeyore's voice.
Why didn't I write that down?
He was always
Brad
my
Garrett.
favorite part.
Most importantly, though, the Sussex trained porter was played by Chris Pratt.
Not the Chris Pratt you're thinking.
No, but his name is Chris Pratt, and he has his own IMDb page that is still just titled Chris Pratt.
And the only credit, Sussex trained porter, Christopher Robin.
All right, so this movie is about Christopher Robin.
Yeah.
You get to see
box
him.
office real quick, man. Box office.
I'm on a roll here.
All right.
So this movie is about Christopher Robin. It starts out with him as a little kid. You get to see him enjoying all of his fun times with the 100 Acre Wood.
It's amazing.
He grows up to be just sort of a meanie businessman, and the 100 Acre Wood needs his help, and he has to come back to not only help them find each other, but reclaim his childhood.
Yeah, he has to find himself.
And it's just as cheesy as it sounds,
but in
not
like
in a bad way.
In an amazing way.
So tell us about the box office.
It's already doubled The Spy Who Dumped Me, which I'm only bringing up because they are direct competitors this weekend.
Dang.
At just under $10 million opening by Friday, and it's projected to make around 13 by the end of the weekend. Wow. Which is great for a movie like this.
Yeah, because I feel like these movies probably had a similar budget, or this movie had even a lesser budget.
Yeah, honestly. But, no, yeah, I couldn't really talk when the movie was over. I was affected so much. I still can't. Is it good?
So I'm so mad at you. I want to hear the girl's hot take.
Yeah, me too, because y'all just really didn't talk at all this whole time.
Well, it's
We
really
can't
hard
listen.
to talk with you two.
Why? Just talk.
Well, it's hard when Tyler talks over you.
Pot, meat, kettle. Anyway.
I liked it.
God. Get out of here.
You cannot yell at us. It's like,
I liked it.
I never yelled at you.
that's true. You can't scold us. How's that?
I
Is that
didn't
better?
scold you.
You did.
Either. No one did.
You said, all right.
I didn't know such a thing.
Okay.
It was very emotional. I cried
Yeah.
almost like
She
the
was crying
entire
the first
time.
5 minutes of the movie.
I know.
It
Me
just
too. It's
it
fine.
started
Me
and it
too.
said Christopher Robin, and she was like, brilliant.
It's funny because, like, me too. Yeah, definitely. Why you put it well. It's like if you have no idea who Winnie the Pooh is and don't care, probably didn't enjoy this movie.
It was probably like
Wait.
so.
If you know of Winnie the Pooh and you know like why he's important, probably enjoyed it at least a little bit.
Mhm.
And if you're like me and Wyatt and Sarah, no, yes,
I don't
Did
know.
you grow up with Winnie the Pooh?
You know what? That's what I was telling Katimae. I was like, I don't think, like, we had the books and everything, but there was no Winnie the Pooh movies when I was a kid. I don't think they really got bigger until, like, maybe I was, like, 7 or 8.
She
And at
was
that
like
age,
the
I
early-
was like,
yeah.
that's lame. I'm not a little kid.
like early 90s through early 2000s was like the
See, I was, like,
resurgence
already in high school.
of animated Winnie the Pooh.
I don't know. I grew up with Winnie the Pooh.
Me too. Yep.
And
This movie broke me,
Yeah.
but in a good way.
It reminded me why I didn't really like Winnie the Pooh.
why is that?
I don't like Tigger. I find him
Oh, yes.
extremely
You don't like Tigger?
annoying.
Get out.
Is it Imposter Raider?
Get out.
That
Get
was
out
the
right
best
now.
part of the
Extremely
movie.
The wonderful thing about tigers is tigers are wonderful
I
things.
just find
So-
them so annoying.
Tops are made out of rubber. Bottoms are made out of
Tigger is the
springs.
best.
I just find
Bouncy,
them so
bouncy,
annoying.
bouncy, bouncy, fun, fun, fun,
So-
And
fun,
then
fun.
it like brought
But
back
the most
memories.
wonderful thing about tigers
Oh,
I'm telling you
boy.
one.
is he's the only one.
All right.
I'm so good at this and I'm so good at this.
All right. So a legitimate review.
Sounds
of the
like you're
movie.
jealous. Everybody's jealous of Tigger, guys.
You're going to
So-
leave, and she's like, dang it, why didn't I sing that?
Double gut.
So here's a legitimate review of the movie. It has a pretty consistent pace throughout.
Yep.
The acting is all great. Ian McGregor sells it real hard.
So good.
Way better than Marky Mark talking to a ball on this.
It's unfair.
No, it's not
Two
unfair.
completely different movies.
Big comparison is that when they made Ted, it was just a tennis ball and a stick. When they made this movie, they gave him a real life bear.
Uh-huh.
So I watched an interview where he said, I got really used to working with that bear and kind of enjoyed it. Because they're not mean, they don't really talk back, and they know everything they need to know about the scene.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that makes me. But
That's really,
I want one of
that's
those
really
bears.
sweet.
All of his movies from here now.
no, he even
Just him
said
and
he's
a
like, I
bear.
want to work with the bear again. That was fun. But anyway, the pace was really good. The acting was excellent. Haley Atwell was great. It was great to see her in a time period
Mhm.
movie again and
Mhm.
not yelling, Steve.
Also, I
So-
will say, I don't know how accurate it is to the real Christopher Robin, but the dynamic is kind of a tired one. I will be honest. The whole like businessman caught up in his work, not paying attention to
Has
his
to reclaim his
family, has to
childhood.
reclaim his childhood to do it.
So that's what
That was a little tired, but
Yeah.
the relationship with his wife they played it a little differently. It wasn't like give up your work or I'm leaving you, like which is the way that trope always goes. It was
kind
more
of
like
you're being a dum
you're being an ass. We'll be here when you're ready, but like you know, and I like that.
Yeah.
Like it was a little bit more realistic. Like
And on that kind of note, while I was talking that the pace works really well and it's easy to follow along with everything. The story structure was a little off. It was a little weird.
Yep.
That's why I said a normal, like if someone's watching it and doesn't even know about Winnie the Pooh, I think this is an odd movie to see because not a whole lot goes on in the middle, and then it ends
Yeah, and it does. It kind of feels like the first movie and then the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
as the same movie.
So the movie begins, and you see that he's become a grouchy old Grinch man. And
I didn't even say that.
He's just really cool. He's still a nice guy.
No, he is, but what, I'm trying to speak quickly about it. So
Just kidding.
Winnie the Pooh comes back into his life, and he said, I lost all my friends. Will you help me? He's like, I gotta get this dumb bear out of here. I'll take you home, I guess. So he takes him back home, and then he sort of learns how to be a kid again and loses all his papers, and they have to bring it back. That's the whole movie. Mm-hmm. And the reason that I say the pace is good is that they're able to stretch that out, yet while still making it feel like it's not taking a lot of time to stretch it out. But nothing really goes on in the middle other than Ian McGregor walking around looking at stuff.
And I think the reason it works is because while the whole him figuring out how to cut costs for his company thing is the end game for his character, the movie is not about that at all. It's all about Christopher Robin and his relationship with himself, really more than anything.
Yeah, it's very clear and almost ham-fisted at points that Winnie the Pooh is just a metaphor.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. I was actually kind of worried that it was gonna go the whole he was fake the whole time,
or it was imaginary.
Yeah, or you were imagining it.
That's what I thought it was gonna be walking into it.
And then me and Katie May thought.
Surprise! Nah, that real Winnie the Pooh really was in London with the rest of the 100 Acre Wood.
It was funny watching him
and
talk to people.
Yeah, that bit. When he says hello and that guy runs face first into the pool. Oh bother! Oh God, the comedic timing of that was so good.
Yeah,
my heart.
All that stuff is great, and I think that's why this movie is fun to watch. Because even though we waste a lot of time on Winnie the Pooh talking to people and them going is that a talking bear? That stuff you would get tired after a while. And for some reason, for me, it just didn't.
No.
I could have watched that all day.
Yeah, I could have watched. Yeah,
it was great. And the opening 20 minutes where it's just little kid Christopher Robin with all the creatures in the 100 Acre Wood.
Oh,
excellent stuff. Really good, really good. I think the fact that the CGI was also amazing,
incredible,
ridiculously realistic,
and it's
I think it works for it.
Yeah, no, that shot when they were coming back through at the end and Eeyore's walking by, legit looked like someone was just really masterfully puppeteering an actual Eeyore doll.
Yeah,
which is
weird,
phenomenal. It's crazy to me that my two favorite movies of the year came out one after the other, because we had Mission Impossible last week, and now this movie.
Mission Impossible is amazing. Let's talk about that again.
Yeah, I felt
Mission
just as happy.
Wait,
Ethan
I
Hunt.
wanted to say some more things about Winnie the Pooh. I've never wanted a balloon more in my life than I did after leaving that movie.
I don't want a balloon. It makes me happy.
And every time I saw Honey, my entire body felt sticky because I don't like that.
Oh yeah,
that feeling. And
when
I was
he's
just
walking through the house.
Oh, that stressed me out.
I was getting anxiety watching him walk through Christopher Robin's house covered in honey. Because I'm just sitting there it's gonna take forever to clean up.
I didn't understand when he got stuck on the rug why he picked him up and then put him on the floor. I was like, don't do that because you're just creating more of a mess. What's wrong with you?
I think he
my clean freak was like, stop, put him outside.
I think he loves Winnie the Pooh though, and he didn't want to stop him living his best life.
I saw all that honey. I'm like, and then the person in the theater.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was the best. That was I didn't cry about the movie like Katie May, but this guy made me cry. This is amazing.
Are you sure it was a guy? Because I'm not.
I don't know if it was a man or a woman, but they were making a lot of noises. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh.
Every time something.
Oh no.
That's a living emotional subtitle.
When the daughter fell at one point, you just hear him go, "Oh no!" Like he was genuinely hurt by it.
When Eeyore was in the river and he just goes, Like, what the fuck, man?
That was the part that I lost it at and I couldn't control it.
I felt like you were laughing the whole movie.
I literally, the person next to me was laughing, so I would start laughing whenever he would make a comment, and then it would get to the point that I'm like, okay, I think I can contain it, and then the person next to me would start laughing again, and I'm like, nope, can't do this.
And then he moaned at one point, that's when I lost it, because he was like, ooh, and at
that point I was like, sir, what are you doing up there?
This was a very animated theater.
Yeah.
Everybody was super into it, and at the end the whole theater clapped.
Yep.
It was a good experience.
Oh, real quick, the mid-credits scene. It was weird, I know.
I wasn't about that.
It was an homage
Yeah.
to the original singer-songwriter duo for all the like original Winnie the Pooh songs.
Okay.
So,
I didn't know that.
The Winnie the Pooh workout song where he's like, I touch my toes, that one.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Tigger song, the Christopher Robin song that played right after that. That guy passed away in 2012, and the guy who was playing the piano is one of the original actors, I believe. So that was just their way of homage.
That's a very cool thing. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was.
that's
If
he
you
really,
don't know that, you're just sitting
Not
there
knowing
going,
that, I
what?
thought it was strange. I was like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
Oh,
is
for
that?
sure. I didn't know that
This.
until
Yeah.
after. Well,
I thought
I'll
it
be
was
honest.
a
I
commercial.
figured that's what it was because I
I
recognized
thought it
the
was
song a
some
little
kind of
bit,
in
or-
thing that I just didn't get.
Yeah,
That's what
and
I
that's
thought.
kind of what it was. It was just an homage to
What
that.
was
Oh.
the after credits? We left before.
That was.
we-
Sorry, I did more research. They were referring to that.
Oh, they were
sequence,
referring
yeah.
to that.
I read an article that said there was an after credits, and I was like, oh, okay.
It's called a mid credits,
yeah,
idiot.
just for future reference, guys. When you write articles about that stuff, after credits means it happens
after the credits.
exactly.
Fun fact.
Mid credits means it happened in the middle of the.
Of the
It's
middle.
crazy that we have to now
Explain that.
explain that. Like,
Yeah.
that it's such a thing with mid credits and after credits.
Now, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was hoping that.
Thanks,
you would tell me
Marvel.
That Nick Fury showed up at the end and said, "Hey,
So that was one of the things they said in that article was like, no, Peter Pan didn't show up and pitch don't let kids grow up initiative to Winnie the Pooh,
that would have been great."
and no, they didn't find a wardrobe in the 100-acre wood that opened up to a snowy landscape. That was Narnia.
Yeah, if you had at least kept the references to that article in the world of Disney, I mean, I
Yeah.
would have been on board. But then you threw a Narnia, you fucking
You
idiot.
fucking losers.
Okay. I want to see Winnie the Pooh again, though. I'd see it again.
Did Christopher Robin?
Christopher Robin. Yeah.
Christopher.
I'm
Yeah,
really
Winnie,
tired.
And it's Winnie their Pooh, just so you know.
I don't know. I want to, yeah.
What?
I could talk about this movie all night.
I also want to see Mamma Mia 2 again.
Katimae just wants to sort of go a bunch of repeats. But anyway, so we've literally covered everything. You're welcome. A lot of movie news for you. We did a new segment where we spread positivity. We talked about Winnie their Pooh
Mm-hmm.
and The Spy Who Dumped Me.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Oh.
Oh.
I saw Sorry to Bother You.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot!
Sorry,
That
they
was-
saw it. I still haven't.
Backpedal, backpedal, backpedal. That
Um,
movie is weird.
No.
I must say, everybody, like, from the reviews were like, it was amazing, it was great. So I'm like, okay, I spent my day off watching it, and I remember leaving the theater and being like, what did I just watch? What
Yeah.
just happened?
Yeah.
So that movie to me is number one. And I don't think we need to do a full-on review
No,
because
please
like,
don't too, because I
it's
haven't seen
old.
it yet.
Wait,
so.
because it's like it's been out for a while now.
Plus, Aaron did it already.
It's way too politically ham-fisted for me. That's number one. Like basically punching me in the face with political satire, and I like mine to be a little subtle, not so I don't know genetically advanced.
Yeah.
And that's a direct comment on the movie. I did, however, love the symbolic imagery in it. Not all the time, but there's a really great shot where he's very stressed out about his new job and he can't figure out how to get it done right. And in the background in a window, there's a bunch of papers fluttering around. And that kind of stuff was when the movie was at its best.
Yeah.
But it stopped doing that halfway through.
And I fell asleep.
Yeah.
I feel like the movie just like
It seems like
halfway through they thought, you know what, let's try something else.
yeah,
out.
like, let's
And
flip
that's
the
all we're
switch and try
saying.
something else
And that's
completely.
all
Yeah,
we're-
and it just
all
was
we're
like
saying.
I don't know, not for me.
Oh,
I know
Absolutely
this,
not.
I know this
No.
guy's a first time filmmaker, and like and I appreciate this like new kind of raw energy that it does have, but because it's a first timer, has a lot of pacing problems. Like
Yeah,
to
I thought it
me,
was really slow.
Yeah, like
I
he
remember
would
in the
be
movie getting
he would
like,
be moving
okay.
along, punching you in the face with all this crazy stuff, and then do for 20 minutes we're talking, and that's the pacing was too off.
I really want to see it now because like I it's just as far as screenplay, I have literally split down the middle reviews because Brian, Freddie, and James all said it was fantastic,
I'm not saying I
and
hate it. or
y'all
anything.
three are like nah, and
No.
Aaron was even like
No, Aaron enjoyed it.
it
He
was
said.
really good. Yeah.
I'm just saying I didn't.
I hated it.
I don't hate the movie. I just don't.
There were some things that I would change about it.
Yeah, I just don't know why everyone thinks it is the greatest thing ever made.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
But again, I don't know if that's because the expectations were so high that I walked into it like being
Yeah.
like, this is gonna rock,
I
and
think
then I
whenever
was like,
something
oh,
new-
this did not rock.
Yeah.
Like,
Again,
very disappointed.
this is coming from a place of me having not seen it,
Yeah.
but that happens a lot when you go in expecting a good movie.
Yeah.
You set your expectations up to conventional good,
I think if
and
I
I
had
feel like
been-
this movie did a lot of weird and
Yeah.
tested a lot of norms.
Yeah.
And not expecting that, and expecting it to be just normal, like traditional good,
Yeah.
and then not getting that is probably what held.
Well,
is
If I
holding
had been
y'all back.
surprised by it, I may have probably liked it a little more.
That's what I feel like it is a lot of
and I
it.
feel like
'cause-
personally going to see it, like, the trailer versus what the movie was,
Yes.
I was like, whoa, is this the
100%.
same movie? I was so,
Yeah.
like, I did not expect this at all, and I was, like, really taken aback
this
by
movie
that.
is a total missell.
Yep.
And,
Yeah.
and I think it's on purpose. I think they knew that they were misselling you. If you think you're about to walk in and watch a movie, if you thought you were going to watch a movie about a telemarketer, you just using his white voice, that's not what you're watching at all.
But that's what the trailer makes you think.
Yeah.
So that's why when it
It's
played
almost
out, I
like-
was like, whoa.
Yeah, to be fair, it is what the movie's about for like 30 minutes, and then it's not.
Okay, so.
Katimae wants to go to
That's all
bed,
she had to
even though
say.
we're not even an hour.
Then get out of here if we're still talking. We don't want to look
No,
at
I
your
didn't
sorry
want to
face.
spoil the movie because it's not a movie to spoil.
No, no one's. No, yeah. As far as movies to spoil, heck no, we're not spoiling this movie. Because if you want to see it, it's gonna knock your socks off when the big old twist comes.
I'm curious to hear what people loved about it, though, because I'm like, what did you see
Well,
that I missed?
So
So
that's
I
what-
talked about the ham-fisted political.
Which I'm like, yeah,
that's
that
what-
was cool, and I liked
that's what
that, but I'm
everyone liked
like,
about
the
it.
movie itself, I was like, ooh, this
All the
kind of seemed
reviews,
like,
Yeah.
Well,
All the reviews that I read said that's the good part
yeah,
about it.
oh.
At least for me, with the friend reviews I have, it's funny that y'all's criticisms, like it was weird, it made a lot of weird choices, and it was a little over the top. All of that just mirrored is the good stuff I heard from like Brian, Freddie, and
fun.
James. It's like I liked how unconventional it was. I liked how like weird it got. The twist was great, and like all that. And
It's almost like if you watch a movie that is specifically going for like gross out humor, this movie is going for weird out humor. Like it's purposefully trying to weird you out past the comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I think some people, in the same way that people like enjoy pain, like enjoy just getting super weirded out, and then just go, oh, it's super weird. That means I like it. I don't know. Like if I like it, I like it. Not, you know, I don't have to convince myself that it's weird and I like it.
yeah, it feels like it's probably an eclectic taste.
The last movie that like weirded me out this much, but it was in a good way, was Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Yeah.
That's how wacky this movie is. It's that wacky, but when Scott Pilgrim did it, I felt happiness and joy. When this movie did it, I was like...
And I felt like that movie flowed a lot more
Oh,
than
yeah.
this one. This one just kind
I
of
agree
seemed
with that.
like they were like, we don't have an ending. Let's just throw something randomly in there. And
Like
I'm like,
they-
that's how I took
They
it.
went into a jar and was like, what's gonna happen?
Into the
Oh,
storage,
this
some
looks
storage
good in this
jar,
movie.
and
Yeah.
pulled out a bunch of tabs, and that's what happened.
Sick reference. Speaking of which, there's not going to be an episode of that this week. Sorry.
Man, no one cares. All right,
But
next.
an
You're right.
episode of visual cooking will be out.
Episodes of The Inventor of Visual Cooking coming your way this week.
Also a new thing, right?
Not this week, next week.
Yeah, but still.
Oh yeah, new things are coming your way, friends. We're making all the things and touching all the stuffs.
Yep.
And by that I mean post buttons. We're
And-
posting things, hitting the post button.
Oh, and Dad, you're going to get your stickers soon, I promise.
Oh, what's up, Cory?
Can I get a sticker?
No.
Oh man,
Yeah, what are these stickers?
you can get a sticker. Okay, man.
I'm the talent.
Personality.
All right.
Sorry,
Personality.
I'm a personality.
All right.
I was in The Inventor, so now I'm the
She
talent.
was. She was in episode 4 times.
Yeah.
In 4 different ways.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
I'm the talent.
So, we are on Patreon.
Patreon.com
Yeah.
/ S vertical P spelled out. Letter S, vertical, letter P.
You're spelling out the word letter L-E-T.
I'm gonna.
Probably not. You can also locate us on places like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Do all those things. Follow us, like us, share us, subscribe to us.
Yep. Most important one's Facebook. That's
If
where
you
most
don't,
of our announcements.
what a lot of people don't know, if you don't do all of those things, we will all go to jail, including Sarah.
Now that she's
How did I get roped in there?
well, you're on an episode now, so you're one of us.
Ooh.
Yep.
So if you don't want
Just hear
Sarah
the
to
door
have to go
close
to
as I
jail,
walk out.
Do all those things.
do all those things.
Please help us
Well,
not go to jail. Love us.
You get
We're-
Help
meal
feed
every
Katimae
day.
and Wyatt's guinea pigs.
Also, we're on Spotify and iTunes now.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That's dope.
Woo!
So-
Listen to it at work.
And
every
Google
day.
Play.
Oh.
And Google Play, right?
No.
Do that.
Oh.
No,
not
we don't
enough
fucks
of
with
that.
that.
Do that.
Okay, we will.
We'll be on Google Play.
All right.
Just get Spotify,
We'll make it
though.
happen.
Yeah, but like really, that's Spotify.
Yeah,
Spotify
just
will
get
do.
Spotify.
Spotify will do okay.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks for listening.
Don't talk to strangers. Be nice to people, even if you don't feel like it.
Look both ways before you cross the street.
Don't drink and drive.
Don't eat yellow snow.
I